Today, as I delve deeper into the new commandment given by Jesus in John 13:34, a new commandment I give to you, that you love one another. Just as I have loved you, you also are to love one another. A profound realization dawned upon me. This commandment wasn't simply a new rule, but a revelation of God's love, a love that transcends the limitations of our human nature. I see now that Jesus' revelation builds upon the greatest commandment. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, and with all your soul, and with all your strength. Deuteronomy 6:5. This commandment, foundational to Jewish tradition, became even more profound in Jesus' teachings when he added mind, emphasizing that a transformed intellect is essential for true love. We are called to align our thoughts and desires with the mind of Christ, allowing his love to flow through us, shaping our understanding of the world and guiding our actions. Jesus lived this out perfectly. He possessed the mind of God in his humanity. This brings me to the second great commandment: love your neighbor as yourself. Leviticus 19:18. I began to reflect on the full verse. Do not seek revenge or bear a grudge against anyone among your people, but love your neighbor as yourself. I am the Lord. Leviticus 19:18. I realized that the commandment to love our neighbor as ourselves is deeply intertwined with the call to avoid revenge and grudges. We are instructed to love ourselves, and we are called to extend that same love to others. But how can we truly love our neighbor as ourselves when we've been hurt or wronged? The natural inclination is to seek retribution, to protect ourselves, and to hold on to the pain. It's a cycle of anger and revenge that seems difficult to break. I found myself asking, if I love myself, how can I love someone who has treated me poorly? If I want to be loved, how can I extend love to someone who doesn't seem to deserve it? This is where Jesus' new commandment becomes transformative. He reveals that the power to love this way comes not from our own strength, but from his love, a love that reaches beyond our human limitations. He loved us first, even when we were undeserving. He gave his life for us, bridging the gap between our sinfulness and God's perfect love. He became the last Adam, the new creation, the embodiment of God's grace. Through his sacrifice, he empowers us to love others, not because we can on our own, but because his love has been poured into our hearts. We love as he has loved us. We are called to love, not because we are worthy, but because we are loved. And that love, that grace, that power to forgive, to reconcile, and to extend mercy, it comes only from him. I see now that loving my neighbor as myself is not about my own feelings or motivations, but about allowing the love of Christ to flow through me, to transform my heart and my mind. It's about choosing him, choosing to walk in his love, and allowing his Spirit to guide me. This realization gives me hope and purpose. It's a call to live out God's love, to extend his forgiveness, and to reflect his grace in all that I do. His love is the source of transformation, healing, and peace. And his love empowers me to love those around me, even when it seems impossible. So today, I choose him. I choose to embrace his love, to allow it to flow through me and transform me. I choose to love others, not because I can, but because he has loved me first. He has become the life-giving Spirit, the source of love that empowers me to overcome the bitterness, the anger, and the desire for revenge. He is the embodiment of peace and reconciliation, and through him, I can walk in his love, reflecting his grace and extending his forgiveness to those around me. My heart burns with a new desire, a yearning to build treasures in heaven, to become a living stone in his eternal dwelling. I want to be a mature plantation, harvest in God's garden, a fruitful branch bearing the fruit of the Spirit. Now I understand about Paul, who strived to press on toward the goal for the prize of the upward call of God in Christ Jesus. Philippians 3:14. He seeked to be a vessel of gold and silver, not perishable wood, hay, and straw. And he encourages us to put on the new man. Therefore, I'm motivated to gain more of Christ into me, more of God's love nature into me. This is the price Paul sought after, the divine nature we can partake, becoming more like Christ, like gold, silver, and precious stones for God's building. We become God's plantation, maturing and ripening for his harvest. The more of Christ, the greater the reward.